Welcome to Wild Science and Weird Tech, your one-stop shop for the strange, the unusual, and the downright creepy. I'm your host, Roy Clay, and I'm here to dig into the mysteries that keep you up at night. If you're a fan of the unexplained, the bizarre, or just love a good dose of chills down your spine, you've come to the right place. Today we're diving headfirst into the murky waters of true crime, but with a supernatural twist. Buckle up, because things are about to get weird. Our first case takes us deep into the heart of Australia, where the vast outback holds secrets as old as time itself. It's 2006, and 19-year-old Eric Tome vanishes from his home in Bathurst, New South Wales, gone without a trace.
The police, they're baffled. Friends and family are distraught. Weeks turn into months, and the trail runs colder than a penguin's backside.
But here's where things take a turn for the weird. Eric's mother, Lorraine, starts having incredibly vivid dreams. These dreams are graphic, detailed, and they all point to one horrifying conclusion: Eric is dead.
In these dreams, Lorraine sees a bridge, a specific bridge, and she's overwhelmed with a sense of dread.
Lorraine, not one to dismiss a mother's intuition, goes to the police.
The police are skeptical, but Lorraine is persistent.
Eventually, she convinces them to check out the bridge from her dream. And wouldn't you know it, they find Eric's car, wrecked and hidden at the bottom of a steep embankment near the bridge. Inside the car, they find Eric's body. The official cause of death? A tragic accident. Was it a mother's love transcending the veil of death, or just a bizarre coincidence? I'll let you be the judge. Our next stop takes us to a seemingly peaceful town in Ohio, where the biggest worry should be whether the corn is ripe.
It all starts in 1976 with anonymous letters, nasty ones, the kind that make your blood pressure spike.
These poison pen letters arrive in mailboxes all over Circleville, Ohio, filled with threats, accusations, and enough juicy gossip to make a soap opera blush.
These letters know things, intimate details about people's lives, secrets that should have stayed buried.
The writer, hiding in the shadows, signs their venomous prose with a simple, chilling moniker: the Circleville Writer. Fear and paranoia grip the town as people start pointing fingers, suspecting their neighbors, their friends, even their own families. But the letters keep coming, each one more menacing than the last.
The writer seems to have eyes everywhere, knowing everyone's secrets, their routines, their darkest fears.
And then, things take a deadly turn. In 1977, Ron Gillespie, a man targeted by the letters, dies under mysterious circumstances. The official cause of death? A heart attack. But whispers around town paint a different picture, saying Ron was driven to his death by relentless harassment. For years, the letters continued to plague Circleville, even after suspects were jailed and people moved away. The Circleville writer remained elusive, leaving a trail of fear and unanswered questions in their wake. Our next story takes us to Wales, where we meet June and Jennifer Gibbons, twins bound by an eerie and unbreakable connection. From a young age, June and Jennifer were inseparable, communicating in their own private language, a secret code only they could understand. They were known as the Silent Twins, locked in a world of their own making.
Some folks chalked it up to shyness, maybe severe social anxiety, but others saw something more unsettling.
As the twins grew older, their silence deepened, and their bond tightened, becoming more intense and consuming. They retreated further into their own world, a world of shared diaries, stories, and fantasies, some dark and disturbing. In their teenage years, the twins began to act out, committing petty crimes, vandalism, even arson.
Eventually, the twins were deemed a danger to themselves and others, and were committed to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility.
For years, they lived in a world of therapy and medication, but their bond remained unbroken. And then one day, Jennifer whispered a chilling secret to June. "I'm going to die," she said. "We've decided." And just like that, Jennifer slipped into a coma, dying shortly after from a sudden and unexplained heart inflammation. There was no medical reason, no logical explanation. It was as if she had simply willed herself to die, fulfilling a pact made in the silent world she shared with her twin. The story of June and Jennifer Gibbons remains one of the most haunting and mysterious cases of twin telepathy and shared destiny. Was it a supernatural bond or a psychological phenomenon? The answer remains elusive, but one thing is certain: their story continues to captivate and mystify. Now, if we're talking about terrifying true crime with a supernatural twist, we gotta talk about the granddaddy of them all, the Amityville Horror. This story has captivated and horrified people for decades, blending the lines between reality and the supernatural in a way few other tales have managed.
Picture this: 1974, Amityville, Long Island, a quiet, suburban neighborhood where nothing out of the ordinary ever seems to happen. It's the kind of place where families feel safe, where children play in the streets, and where everyone knows their neighbors. A seemingly ordinary house on a seemingly ordinary street becomes the backdrop for an unspeakable horror. This house, with its iconic quarter-moon windows, would soon become infamous worldwide. I, armed with a rifle, murdered my entire family in their sleep. The details of that night are chilling. The methodical way the murders were carried out, the sheer brutality of it all. 6 lives extinguished in a night of unimaginable violence. Parents and children alike, all lost in a single horrific event that would forever change the fabric of this community.
DeFeo claims he was possessed, driven by voices to commit the murders. He insisted that these voices left him no choice, that he was merely a puppet in their sinister game. The court doesn't buy it. Despite his claims of demonic influence, the legal system demands evidence, and DeFeo's story doesn't hold up under scrutiny. He's found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The community breathes a sigh of relief, believing the nightmare is over. But the story doesn't end there. The house itself seems to hold on to the darkness, as if the very walls have absorbed the evil that transpired within. A year later, the Lutz family moves into the house. They are unaware of the full extent of the horrors that occurred there, drawn in by the attractive price. They got a steal on the price, but they're gonna regret it. What seemed like a dream home quickly turns into a nightmare. From the moment they cross the threshold, things are not right. There's an oppressive atmosphere, a sense of being watched, strange smells, cold spots, swarms of flies in the dead of winter. These are just the beginning of the bizarre occurrences that plague the Lutz family. The Lutz's youngest daughter makes an imaginary friend, a demonic pig named Jody. This unsettling presence becomes a focal point of the family's growing fear. Objects move on their own, disembodied voices whisper threats, green slime oozes from the walls. The house seems to be alive with malevolent energy. George Lutz starts waking up at 3:15 a.m. every morning, the same time as the DeFeo murders. This eerie coincidence only deepens the family's terror. The family tries to stay strong, but the paranormal activity escalates. Each day brings new horrors, pushing them closer to the edge. George becomes increasingly volatile, obsessed with the fireplace, even claiming to resemble the killer, Ronald DeFeo Jr. His behavior becomes erratic and frightening. The family priest is called in for an exorcism, but even he's driven away by unseen forces. The house seems to reject any attempt to cleanse it. After just 28 days, the Lutz family flees the house in terror, leaving behind their belongings and sanity. They can't take it anymore. The house has won. Was the Amityville house truly cursed by the horrific events that transpired within its walls? Or was it something else entirely? Or were the Lutzes victims of their own imaginations, fueled by the media frenzy surrounding the DeFeo murders? The line between reality and fiction blurs. The Amityville horror remains one of the most famous and controversial cases of paranormal activity. It has sparked countless debates and investigations. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the story has left an indelible mark on popular culture. Books, movies, and documentaries have all tried to capture its essence. The house still stands, a silent witness to the events that unfolded within its walls. It remains a symbol of fear and mystery. And the legend of the Amityville horror continues to haunt and intrigue. Its story is a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that may lurk just beyond our understanding. Buckle up, because our final case takes us straight into a courtroom drama, where the line between legal defense and demonic possession gets about as blurry as a Ouija board seance after midnight. We're talking about the chilling case of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, a young man from Connecticut who claimed the devil made him do it. It all started in 1980, when my girlfriend's little brother David started exhibiting some seriously strange behavior. Think possessed kid from The Exorcist kind of strange. David's family, devout Catholics, were convinced the boy was possessed by a demonic force. They called in priests, performed exorcisms, the whole 9 yards. And that's where Arnie Cheyenne Johnson comes in. He was present during these intense exorcisms, a supportive boyfriend witnessing the terrifying ordeal firsthand. According to witnesses, Arnie got a little too involved, taunting the demons, challenging them to take him instead of David. Be careful what you wish for, right? Because a few months later, Arnie stabs his landlord to death. The murder was brutal, seemingly out of character for the young man. When the police hauled him away, Arne's defense was about as unusual as it gets. He claimed he was possessed by a demon, the same one that had tormented young David. The courtroom was buzzing. A demonic possession defense? That's the kind of stuff you see in horror movies, not in a court of law. The trial was a media sensation, with everyone from paranormal investigators to religious scholars weighing in on the case. But in the end, the jury wasn't convinced. They found Arne Cheyenne Johnson guilty of manslaughter, and he was sentenced to prison. The case remains one of the most infamous examples of a supernatural defense in a court of law. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 terrifying tales of murder and mayhem with a supernatural twist that'll make you sleep with the lights on tonight. We've got mothers dreaming of crime scenes, poisoned pen pals pushing people to the brink, silent twins sharing a deadly bond, haunted houses, and demonic possessions in the courtroom. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and most importantly, stay spooky. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.